All right, today's example vehicle is the 2017 Ford Edge. This actually was a trade-in. Pretty nice car, very clean. And yeah, we need to just kind of do a quick little cleanup on it. So of course, you know, all of us can get outside and just wash the car off. That's pretty simple stuff, right? Just wash the car off and get it ready for the lot, because you definitely want to wash it off, clean it up, right? But really where the details come into play, where you want to make sure the car looks pretty good on the lot for customers to look at, because believe it or not, people do care about the cleanliness of a used car. And no matter what the price of the car is, nobody typically wants to get a car and buy it for themselves or their family and it be dirty. And people do pay attention. So areas to pay attention to is the glove box. A lot of people don't do it, but they should. You need to get that glove box opened up and just vacuum out and wipe it down in there and get the dust and dirt and grime out of there. Okay. Another spot to pay attention to is cup holders. They always get little dirty stuff in the cup holders. And these areas like this and these little cubby hole spots, you see what I'm talking about? If you didn't really look, you know, this little thing could be cleaned up a little better and all that. And the armrest, of course, and this little center console we call the junk drawer, it goes down pretty deep. That one's not too dirty at all, but again, just kind of wipe it down. And definitely little spots like in these little areas here where coins go at and things like that. I mean, we all throw stuff in there and it gets dirty. Let me show you another few little spots. Living down here near the beach in Myrtle Beach, we get a lot of sand, right? So sand kind of just sits up and collects in the cracks and crevices of seats. As you'll notice this one right here, check it out. Got a lot of sand from the beach just right in the crack of the seat, okay? You don't want to leave that in here for a customer. You don't want to leave hair in here if they had a dog. So again, vacuum it out real good, wipe it down. If you got a little toothbrush or something like that, you can kind of get those edges real good and then go back over it again with the vacuum to make sure that sand comes out, because sand and dog hair can be the worst to get out of cars. Sometimes it is. I mean, sand just gets everywhere. Little tip there, folks: if you go to the beach a lot or you come down to Myrtle Beach for vacation, you don't want to get sand all inside your vehicle after, you know, being out there at the beach all day. If you got a little bit of baby powder, you put some baby powder on over your leg, and somehow that baby powder will knock the sand off, from what I've been told. So that's an idea. Also, just, I mean, of course the floors and stuff always get hair and dirt and things like that, but you want to look inside these little vents, okay? And that's where the toothbrush comes in handy, because you can kind of get that toothbrush in there and get some of those little hairs and little things like that out, believe it or not. I mean, look at this. This one's got a whole piece of foam inside of there or something like that. So those are things to look at. These spots here, again, the cracks and crevices of seats, all right? You just want to go around it. This is most of the stuff we're looking at today is pretty common stuff that most people pay attention to when they're looking at a pre-owned car. This is another area a lot of people don't clean, but they should. They get in here and clean up all these little moldings and stuff like that. The best thing to do is, if you got your own car dealership, even a small pre-owned store, and you don't have a whole lot of people or you know working for you, right, or a whole detail staff like some of these big franchise stores, you can invest a little bit of money into buying some things just to help your life get a little easier, right? Pressure washer is great for that, right? Buy an inexpensive electric pressure washer. Why I say electric? Well, let me tell you why, folks. The electric pressure washer is not going to be as powerful as the gas one. And again, you got to be careful with those gas pressure washers, because let's just say real quickly here, you got that gas pressure washer on, it's full blast, it's doing its thing, you're hitting all up in here and all that. You got a little rock chip or something like that, a little paint chip on the car somewhere, and you don't realize, but you take that pressure washer and kind of come across that chip or something. Some cars, especially if they've been repainted before, the paint is going to chip off really quick, okay? So that pressure washer can technically cost you some money at the end of the day. It will help you clean the car, and it's nice to have the gas one because it's more powerful, depending if you want to use it on different things other than a car, you know, or want to clean up tires or fender wells and all that. But again, the gas one is so much more powerful than the electric one that it can cause the paint to chip off on the car, on the rims, things like that. So I say go with an electric one. It's quieter. It's not going to make as much noise if you're using it out back behind your store and your finance guy's doing paperwork. You don't have that super loud pressure washer in the background, and it's not going to hit as hard to cause some of those issues. When you got that pressure washer though, you want to go in here and you want to hit the fender wells and clean those out. Throw some degreaser up in there. Pressure wash the rims, clean those up real good. And then open up your doors on the car, you know, spray degreaser all up in here, okay? And then just take the pressure washer and make sure you got it where it's blowing the proper way, and take it and just hit all up in here. It's okay if a little bit of water gets in the car and on the seats and on the floor. Your vacuum and your cloths and rags are going to wipe all that up, and it'll dry up as you're detailing the car that day. So again, a little bit of water is not going to hurt if it gets in the car, because you're going to clean it up and it's going to dry up in most cases. But you want to hit in all these areas. That pressure washer will save you a lot of time where you're not sitting here having to wipe every little thing down on the car. Open up the rear hatch. Do your pressure washer and degreaser all up in these areas right in here. That will clean up all the jams. Again, you open up a door or a trunk on a car, you don't want to open it up and let a customer see grime and grim and dirt all up in the jams, okay? It just doesn't look good, and it really, to me, shows that, you know, whoever owned it previously either didn't clean the car a whole lot, and it was just in a dirty area. Maybe they lived under some trees with leaves and all that nasty stuff, okay? Again, you're trying to sell a vehicle and you're trying to get the top dollar for it if you can, or at least get a reasonable value for your car so you can make a decent profit for your family and your business. At the same time, a customer, they'll spend the money, but they won't want to spend it if the car is dirty. So clean it up, okay? Another thing I will stress to everybody, other than what I've already kind of shared, and we'll talk about what I'm about to talk about in just a second here, but another spot I just remembered. Nobody ever checks these out too much, but you need to. Pull that steering wheel if it tilts and telescopes, pull it out and down and look inside of there to see all the sand and dirt and grime that gets up in that area. Again, doesn't look good. You got to get it cleaned up so people don't see it. I wouldn't want to buy this car and have all that right there and have to go home and clean up somebody's stuff like that, right? So this is all very important to do. Clean the seatbelt brackets, clean up in here, okay? All the little spots, people don't even pay attention, but pull down the visors and clean the mirrors off. This one's pretty good, but again, sometimes these are all smudged up from somebody doing makeup. You know, this right here gets a lot of makeup on it if a lady owned the car. And again, some degreaser and cleaner will get that makeup off, and this will shine up nice and look good again. So those are important to do, especially when selling a car. Even if you're a private party person trying to sell your car on Facebook Marketplace, right? Don't just leave it the way it is, even if you're still driving it every day. Clean your car when you go to take those pictures of it. Make sure it is nice and clean. If someone's coming over to take a look at it, you need to make sure it's clean and ready for them before they get to the house that day. Another thing is, the most important thing I would say, is under the hood as well, okay? So interior and under the hood. Interior is super important because that's where people literally sit at, and they're in the car all the time. So you want that area clean. But under the hood, a lot of people don't clean under hoods, right? This is a great example here. The car looks pretty good on the outside. Customer just traded it in, so we're going to go through and clean it. But under the hood, as you can tell, a lot of dirt and dust. Some people live on dirt roads or live near the beach, and this is what happens, folks. It gets dirty under here. So again, I've heard some people say, customers are like, well, when they clean under the hoods, they spray all that tire shine and all that stuff right there, and they're trying to hide, you know, if there's an oil leak or something like that, right? A lot of times we're not trying to hide anything, really. I mean, maybe some people do, but technically we're not trying to really hide anything like that. We're trying to clean it so it looks good. It looks clean. It looks nice on camera. Nobody wants to take a picture of a hood, under hood that looks like this right here, or, you know, or show it to a customer. If I pop the hood on this Ford Edge right now, and, you know, because the customer wants to look at the motor, I'd be very embarrassed to stand here and say, well, we got a nice clean car here, and then under the hood looks like this, okay? So this is all super important. And since we're showing this last, let me tell you, the first thing you need to do is clean under the hood. So here's how you're going to do it, all right? You're going to crank the vehicle up, keep it running. You're going to take your degreaser. Actually, here, no, back up. Pull the car up where you're washing it. Leave the car running. Pop the hood. take whatever you're using to wash the car with your soap and all and your mitt, and you need to take that soapy wash mitt or brush, and you need to hit the soap all on the fenders, hit up here, okay? Again, so get the fenders, the front bumper, the headlights, all of this, and the windshield, get all that nice and soapy, okay? And then, well, after you do that, and it's still all soapy right there, take your degreaser and spray it in here, okay, while the car's running. Let it sit for a few minutes, and then take your pressure washer or your hose, whatever you have, and go, yeah, you want to spray under there too, under the hood, but spray that, and then spray and clean this area here and get it nice and clean, okay? You don't have to take your hose or pressure washer and literally drill down on, you know, on certain stuff, okay? You don't want to be around the battery. You don't want to be around any kind of little sensors and things like that, because if you don't want to get water in there, you can get a check engine light and it needs to dry out and all that. So again, just, you know, lightly take the water and just clean it, wash it off, okay? Once you do that and it's washed off, drop the hood down. Don't close it completely. Just kind of crack it. Keep the car running. That will heat it up and that will dry it under there. Then you can take some tire shine under, whatever spray you're using, Armor All, whatever the case may be, some kind of dressing, engine dressing, and then spray that in there real good. Get everything nice and wet with your engine dressing. Then drop the hood and close it down and leave the car running again for a little bit. Then that will give it a nice clean shine. It'll be clean. Then someone can look under there, and if there is any oil leaks, they'll see it, and there you go. So that's how you do it. It's important. Do it for me, folks. Get it done. I'm about to do it on this one, and I'll show you how it looks when we get finished here in just a minute.